And we're going to talk a little bit about what Trade With Me is and do a little Q&A. So for those of you that have questions about Trade With Me, if you haven't heard about it, just feel free to leave a comment and we'll discuss it. And
hey, Mohammed.
How's it going, Mohammed? Let me move this over. Yeah, so go ahead. We'll go ahead and take a look at the actual page. And for those of you that have questions, feel free to just go ahead and type them in and we'll take a look at them. So let me do this. No. Yeah, good enough. All right. So overall, Trade With Me. Why did Trade With Me begin? And the reason is a lot of people had a lot of questions about, they're asking if Ali would take more time to trade live and if he would do any extra sessions after Orlando. And Ali thought the most benefit to a trading program, he didn't want to make it a trading room because that's just not something he was interested in. So his thought was an actual course. And so Trade With Me, it's a 1 day a month trading event, but it's really a program that's designed to last 10 months. And you're going to have anywhere from probably 5 to 6 hours, sometimes more, of actual video recorded material to study. And then let's say the third week of that month, there's going to be a live trading day and it's going to be a full session. Ali will do a pre-market report and then he will trade those concepts that you just learned from the course. And then after that, there will be kind of a end of day summary from Ali, brief Q&A. And then the following day, we will have an actual longer Q&A session over important things to address.
And the Q&A the following day will be moderated by Brad and I, and we will organize it based on questions which we collect prior to the session. So we're not going to actively take new questions. We want to make sure that we're able to make the session as productive as possible because we anticipate that there will be enough people there that fielding new questions during the session will not be productive. So instead, what we'll do is collect questions after the session the day before, go through all of them, and either select individual questions which are emblematic of a number of other questions, and so thus answer a number of people's questions through answering one, or synthesize a number of questions which are related but dealing with the same concept, and take the opportunity to address a number of questions that way. So it just gives us a much more flexibility to structure it productively rather than trying to manage that Q&A in real time. I mean, we will take the questions in real time, but we will need to take all those questions in advance. So the other thing that's important to remember, we will have periods of the day when Ali will be both talking and taking questions. So he will take questions after the trading day, briefly. It'll be about a 20 to 30 minute brief Q&A and market recap. And then, during that portion of the trading day, Brad and I will select the questions that Ali will answer, because he's going to be focusing on the charts, focusing on the concepts that he's traded, how he traded them, and he's going to be thinking pedagogically. So I think that's really one of the main things to remember, is that this is all a pedagogical structure, in that it is an educational program. It's not a trading room or a live trading program where you sign up and watch someone trade and hope to learn something. This is all structured as many of you who already know Quant Systems products, it is structured around a very coherent methodology for how the program will progress, how the ideas will scaffold on each other, and then how Ali will use that scaffolded structure to build during each session on the complexity of the trades that he takes, the complexity of his management, and then again, building on that in the sessions that follow. And then obviously the day will start, as Brad said, with that market, the pre-market analysis. So Ali will be talking directly to participants pre-market during the day as he's discussing his trades, but there will be periods during the day when Brad and I are only talking, between Ali's discussion about idea, principles and trades. And then Ali will also be talking at the end of the day during the market recap. But then the following day, only Brad and I will be moderating that Q&A. I think you might be muted, Brad.
Thank you, James. Real quick, let's just talk about, James mentioned something really important. This is it's a course with actual live, so it's a course. Live trading is designed to do two things. One, give you confidence and examples of real live trades, but also it's designed to give you a reference point from the material that you learned. So if you're looking right here, this is going to be month 1. It's a 10-month event. So every month you're going to have basically a module, if you want to think about it that way, where this entire portion is going to be roughly, let's say, 6 hours of video content. Ali has created the slides. So this is just a typical example of what a slide would look like. And some are less detailed, some are more detailed, but this is probably average. And with the direction of Ali, James and I have created the course. We've basically did voiceovers for each slides. This is going to be the topic of the first session. And Ali is going to take trades on that trading day based on the information you've learned from the course. So what's I know there's people saying, like, what's the difference between this and PTM? There's actually big differences. The difference between Trade With Me is it's really designed to be an actual course from start to finish with live trading. And therefore, since it's recorded, there's not going to be any sort of breaks with questions in between the material. So if you go back and you really think about this file right here, this one PowerPoint slide, I believe there's probably 100 to 110 PowerPoint slides in the first month. And therefore, James and I are pretty much spending, if you break down averages, a couple of minutes on each slide, maybe longer, sometimes 5 minutes on a slide, and then transitioning to the next slide. And the reason for that is that way you're maximizing the amount of content in it without pausing or getting distracted by a question. And so the real big benefit is, how is this going to help someone that's either starting out or they've been studying trading for a while? The answer is pretty simple. One, it's going to give someone confidence that with seeing actual examples of live trading, that's number one. And number two, it's going to provide a structured framework to follow through. The goal of this course or program is really designed for somebody to graduate at the end of 10 months. They start with month 1, they watch they go to month 10, and they really consume the material. It's the same thing for you guys that have purchased the Brooks Trading course. The goal is not to watch the video course once, it's to continuously go through it over and over and over again. These videos, they're going to be 6 hours. So if there's 10 sessions, there's 60 hours of video material. The goal is for you to continuously study that material and continuously learn it. And just like anything else that you've purchased on Quant Systems, once you buy it, you have a login, and therefore you keep the material in perpetuity.
The question here is actually important. Yeah, the live videos will be available after, just like with PTM. And as far as like Brad was suggesting, using the videos most productively, you have the material, which is important to prepare for the sessions, because that's how Ali is going to structure his trading day. For the initial session, it will be obviously focusing on buy and sell zones and all of the topics that we see in the basic principles module. But then as we get into the more sophisticated modules, as we're talking more about market context and structure, there's going to be a lot more that he's involving in his both pre-market analysis, then the concepts that he's trading during the trading day, and then the follow-up that he does, and then obviously the Q&A that we do the following day after. So yes, there will be most likely closer to 70 hours of recorded content for the full program, just given what we see of the number of slides that are involved in each of the modules. But beyond that, then you have the 8 to 9 hours roughly of the trading day, and then the 2 hours of session the following day. So for those who are in TWM, you'll have a very, very significant amount of material to review at the end of the 10 months. So it's not that you finish the 10 months and it's done. I mean, you will be able to go back and return to those trades that Ali has taken, our discussion of them, his review of those trades, and how those trades, how your understanding of those trades evolves as the course progresses. Because the way that you see the trades that he takes and the way that we discuss them in module 1 will be different when we reach module, say, 5, 6, 7. Not because the trades are different, but because we begin to see different things in those trades and different logic for some of the ways that he enters and manages them. So, Guardius, yes, it, as we said, it will be available later. So just pop that up. We will not ignore it, but thank you for the question.
Absolutely.
And here, we are, so this program is for Ali to trade. There in the future, we may offer other programs where other people trade. But for now, this is the program. It is
to put it
around
simple,
his trading.
This iteration, so this next 10 months will just be Ali taking the trades. And we may implement in the future, maybe some sort of kind of systematic sort of method of trading. But, who knows? That could very well be possible in the future. Let's see what other questions.
I think we can just, as we wait for other questions to come in.
For sure.
Is there...
well, hang on. Let's this person's question right here. You clearly want to be answered and you want attention. And you're more than welcome to feel.
I would point out, though, that it's not a question. It's
a comment. Yeah, it's a comment. You're more than welcome to feel that way. And if you don't want to purchase a course, you're more than welcome. I've got plenty of videos on my YouTube channel. You can go to the Brooks Trading course. There's plenty of live streams. If you just want to watch a bunch of free content, it's more than helpful. And if you haven't gotten the Brooks Trading course, maybe go get the Brooks Trading course. My advice would be, if you really want to learn it, take the time to really, if you really want to understand it, take the time to understand breakouts really, really well. Buy Al's books and make sure you watch the video course more than once. Because if you only watch the video course once, you're probably not going to figure it out. Now that that's answered.
Mohammed asked a great question.
Is there gonna? Whoops, I got it, James.
Okay, yeah.
Go for it.
Is there going to be any type of communication between students? Yes, we're trying to figure out the optimal way of managing that, because there are a number of different formats that we could use to structure that communication. And yeah, so there will be. We just have to figure out what will be best for managing it, making it most useful for students, right? So where they can most easily share and comment on, say, charts, post videos, have audio chats. Like, there's a lot of options for it, and we have to figure out what'll work best for the way that we've structured the program.
And just to be, just to kind of show an example, this is kind of just, I want to paint this picture really quick. If this screen share will cooperate. So this, I'm just going to zoom out, 10,000 foot overview here. This is going to be pretty much all the material in let's say, the first actual iteration. And the reason I really bring that up in the first place is TWM is designed. We would love to answer a lot of questions, and the problem there's two issues with that. The more you so for one, this is an issue that people have expressed with PTM. So Ali started a Saturday session with basically reviewing his viewpoints of price action, and it was much more you can raise your hand in a classroom and ask a question. The problem with that becomes this: not everybody's at the same level. And therefore, someone might be starting out on day one asking questions. Someone might be starting out on year four asking questions. And so the goal with this course, we will answer questions, and we're going to answer questions that we think are most important and most beneficial for everybody. But the real goal with Trade With Me as a course is to really try and maximize the amount of information we can give and leave it up to the end and give the trader the resources to really study the information for a long period of time.
Yeah, and I think that that's one of the important distinctions between PTM is that PTM is structured to have that two-way dialogue and to propose questions prompt discussions which go into depth and often can cover multiple sessions. So, for example, someone might ask a question. Oh, sorry, I just realized my camera is off. Someone might ask a question, say about second reversals and how to trade second reversals in trends. Well, that might end up becoming a discussion of counter trend wedges, and it could be a discussion that lasts for 2, maybe 3 sessions, depending on the way that topic is structured and where we are in the PTM progression. Whereas in TWM, we will cover second reversals in the reversals module, but it's going to be a much more focused discussion of it, and it's going to get all of those core principles in, and then allow the trader to study all of those topics across the charts that they go and return to deepen their understanding of the principle.
Absolutely. And so again, feel free to ask questions, because depending on how many questions there are, this can be a longer Q&A or a much shorter Q&A. Let's see here. So this is basically the entire 10-month syllabus. And for those of you that want to take a look at it, this is the actual there's the actual link to the program. So there's month 1, month 2, principles of price structure and breakouts, and then principles of market behavior part 1, market behavior part 2, principles of market behavior part 3. And you can read all of this on the actual website. And then month 7, we'll get into trading ranges, month 8, reversals, followed by traps and failures, and then scalping. And so the ideal scenario in this would be that each day or each month, the material is going to build on the prior month. And so when you get to scalping, the reason why scalping is towards the end is because you need a lot of information, ideally about limit orders and tests and traps and test of gaps. And that's the overall idea.
I posted this question because you were starting to answer it, and thought it would be a good one to just follow up with, because yes, DJ, as you can see, each module is going to be structured around a specific topic. It's not going to be as kind of restrictive as trading within trading ranges. These are going to be larger topics. So scalping will involve trading ranges, traps and failures will involve trading ranges, but think of it in terms of nested topics. The parent topic for each of the sessions is going to be a larger topic, and then you'll have you might see different versions of trading within trading ranges in every module. So it will be relevant to the way that we are discussing that month's topic, or that month's topic set.
Absolutely. why don't we for a minute, let's talk about, so we've implemented bonus material for those that sign up for pretty much the full program, whether you sign up today, whether you sign up later. And part of the reason for the bonus material, number one, is the start date is in September, and there's still more production that we all have to get it fully up and running. But the bigger reason is we really want to give everyone a framework to actually be more prepared for when September gets here. And that's why we've implemented some of these right here. And so basically you can read it on the website, but it's pretty much going to be Ali's introduction to breakouts. These are all videos. So video 1 through 5, these are all videos here. And then is breakout research paper or breakout white paper, which many of you have either looked at. Most of you probably know what it is at this point. That's going to include some of his paint bars and just some of the codes that he's written. And then the other factor, the elusive trader success, which also will be a very helpful thing to really just sit there and think about. So the ideal scenario would be if you are interested and you do end up signing up, don't just glance through them once. It's with anything that you do, whether it's the Brooks trading course, whether it's this, whether it's really anything in trading or in life. Don't take the information and just watch it, because you're only going to process so much of it. Really take the time to get there, study it with detailed notes. So it's July 1st and the program starts basically September 1st, let's say. This bonus material, you could really spend a year studying just this bonus material alone and get there, get pretty far. You could spend a year studying the white paper and learn a lot about it. And so the point is, don't just take the information and focus on it. And don't just take the information and watch it once.
Yeah, the elusive trading success is actually an interesting component, because I don't know how many of you have read the Ali's article, how to become a professional price action trader, or becoming a professional price action trader. But there's a lot of pedagogical concepts in there. How to study, how to evaluate the effectiveness of your study, how to implement checks and balances in your process. All of these are involved in the elusive trading success. So it's not even something that you would just passively consume. One thing to remember when you go through the bonus material is that there's always an active role that you take in that learning. And it's not, obviously active learning is a thing, but I'm not referring to active learning. There's always a practical next step to the learning process. Yes, and so there are going to be a few concepts that are in both. The systematic scalping has some concepts which he touches on, which we go into significantly greater depth in for the TWM course. So you'll definitely, and this is one of the reasons why it is good prep material, because it introduces the way, if you haven't already, say, done some of the PTM cycle, if you haven't already read the breakout white paper, it gives you the preparation for how Ali teaches this material, because it is particular to his teaching style, and it makes you better prepared to understand how he's going to be referring to the concepts in live markets, where it's important to understand it quickly, to understand in real time why he's making those decisions, because the speed and accuracy of his decision making in real time becomes even more important when you understand all of the the concepts which come together at each of those decision points.
Absolutely. And at the end of the day, it's just more examples, and can really, really help and really benefit. And overall, there's just some simple FAQ questions we've gotten kind of over and over about the program, so we put it down there. The biggest thing is take a look at it and see if it's something that's worth it for you. And the biggest thing is the biggest thing it's really important if you're going to sign up to that. I would say really weigh the fact: are you willing to stick through it for 10 months? Are you? And not only that, are you willing to really study the material and watch it? Because this doesn't seem, and you look at these, you think, oh, that's not that much information. But this is really, I think this session right here is what, James? How many slides is Ali at? How many did you make? 200, 170?
100. Yeah, it'll be over 200 for the second
So if
module.
So you do some simple math. I mean, 200 slides over a couple of minutes per slide, that's a lot of hours. And just to watch it once is not going to be enough. Really, that's the whole point of this. The reason why we've, there's a lot of questions of why isn't Ali trading for more months than one? One is, one big reason is actually because we want you to take the information and actually implement it, and then come back the next month ready to learn. Because you have month one, you've got this entire concept to learn. Then you've got the actual live trading day to watch. And then after that, can you go back and review month one, the material, and go back to Ali's trades and think, do I understand what he did and why? And can you actually implement it, put it into action? And doing that month after month after month is really a pretty tall, it's a lot of information to learn. I mean, it really is. And so it's meaty, it's valuable, but it's really, you have to put in the time to really want to learn it.
And the other one of the other reasons we've distributed it across 10 months is so that Ali gets to trade in a variety of market conditions. If you're trading every day, then you're really going to be trading within the same market condition for a good chunk of that time. Mm-hmm. This way, you're going to see more of. I mean, ideally, the one thing that we know we can't predict is what the market will look like on these days, but we intend, one of the reasons for structuring it this way is so that you do see more variety in the market conditions. And this is a good question. What time of day will the live trades take place? It will be a full trading day for the E-mini. So it'll start at 9, which is when he'll begin the pre-market analysis, and end 20 to 30 minutes after the close at 4:15 Eastern. So it'll be a full day.
Yeah, will not be, by no means will be a short day at all.
Yes, that alone will be quite a bit to review over the weeks that follow.
Oh, absolutely. So we'll give it a few more minutes and see what other questions there are. Otherwise, we'll wrap this up. Be on the lookout. We're getting pretty close to having the free course that we promised a lot of you would be available. So just be on the lookout. It's not ready yet. It's close, and then we'll release that.
And that will, as we've noted, include examples of the live trades that Ali does take. So you'll see what it will realistically look like to be in the live sessions. So Ian.
Hey, and yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, they'll be available for purchase separately. So just to cover that.
Good question, though.
Absolutely. And those of you interested, Quant Systems joined Facebook. You can check out that page. We'll post more stuff there. But overall, we hope you find something valuable out of this. And we're hoping there's a lot of really, really cool stuff we're hoping to add to the free course that some of you may find really interesting. Ali talked about a workbook that is potentially, I think it was a 3-day conference he did in person before 2020, but it's probably 200 pages. Is that about right, James?
Yep.
200 or plus pages. And so we're thinking about maybe adding that as part of the free course as well.
And Brad, if you don't mind, could you click on the chat bot down there at the bottom?
Oh, for sure.
Feel free to pose some questions here. It helps us understand the kind of things that you want to know more about. And if you have questions where you want direct responses, if you create a ticket here, we will respond directly to you. So it will create an email thread with us. And this way, there's a much lower chance that your question is going to get lost in someone's backed up Telegram or email inbox, because this is something that all three of us see, me, Faisal, and Brad, and we'll just be able to stay much more on top of your questions as they come in if you send them through here.
Absolutely. And speaking of Faisal, so he's actually got some good news. If you go to Faisal's channel, which I'm pulling it up right now, he should be releasing the actual interview that Ali and Faisal did. That's 3 hours long in the next probably 24, 48 hours. So just keep a look on his channel, and you should get that, because I know it's a lot of people have been asking about it. It's basically a part 2 follow-up email or follow-up interview that they did probably back in 2022. And so we think you guys will really, really like it.
Well, we could just wrap up for now and make sure that we are going to.
Yeah, we'll give it one more chance for questions. So here's your shot. And if anyone's got any, great. Otherwise, we'll wrap it up. James, what were you going to say?
Yeah. Also, don't feel like you will miss something here, because we're going to make sure that as we get closer to the program release, we'll just do more Q&As, because obviously more questions will come up. But the more questions you send to us, whether through that form or otherwise, we can also aggregate those into a better FAQ section, so that people don't have to wait as long for responses to their questions.
Absolutely. Yeah, and so will Ali answer questions during the trading day or after, or only the two of you? So it's going to be both. So the whole goal, what Ali's going to be doing the live trading day is actually putting on more. He's going to be only trading, and so he will speak about the reasons. He's pretty good about. He did it in Orlando. He'll speak of the reasons why he's taking the trade and his logic behind the trade. And so the idea, this is pretty much how it will work real time, is James and I are going to talk about the market and give input on perhaps what Ali's thinking about and what he's doing. Ali is going to talk basically when he feels like it. So he's going to talk about the trade he's in. Probably what he's going to do mostly is he may make a few comments while he's in the trade, and when the trade is over, he'll probably recap the trade for a small portion. And then at the end of the day, Ali will do kind of an end of day summary of his trades and answer a couple of questions. And then we'll have an end of day. James and I will do a follow-up Q&A on the next day. But as far as discussing his trades, Ali will more than likely discuss a good portion of them for sure.
Seth, this is a good question. And yes, we have a video on YouTube called The Highest Winning Trade, or the highest. No, I can't remember the title of the video. But yes, we have a video already on YouTube discussing this exactly.
The highest probability trade.
Yes, does not need to be purchased.
Now, let me just pull it up real quick. I'll put it in the chat. So there you go. All right. So it looks like that is it for questions. And if that's the case,